Heartwarming tale. Poor girl's incredible plea for a doghouse revealed a life-changing answer. In a little suburban neighborhood blanketed by winter's chill, 10-year-old Lily was known for her big heart and an even bigger dream, to have a puppy. With her mother Sarah working 2 jobs to keep their modest home warm, the weight of loneliness loomed over them like dark clouds. The winter air nipped at their cheeks as Lily, with rosy pink knuckles, scampered through the snow to visit Mr. Jenkins, her kind-hearted neighbor. He was a war veteran whose face told stories of courage, yet his eyes were often clouded by loneliness since his wife passed away. "Hi, Mr. Jenkins," Lily chirped, her breath hanging in the frosty air as she walked into his cluttered living room filled with fading photographs and old books. Their laughter rang out, warming the room, making even the coldest days feel a little brighter. Lily had a knack for bringing joy, and she cherished these after-school visits that lit up Mr. Jenkins' world. Yet, deep down, Lily felt the ache of companionship. She had recently discovered a scruffy little puppy at the park, and her heart ached to bring him home. That evening, with a pencil in hand and a glimmer of hope, she sat at her desk and poured her dreams into a letter to Santa. "Dear Santa," she wrote, "all I want is a puppy and a doghouse to give him a warm home." Before long, her simple plea sparked a wildfire of discussions at the local community center. Wealthy families gathered, debating whether to build a new play structure to entertain their children, or help families like Lily S. and Mr. Jenkins fight their loneliness. The room buzzed, voices rising. "We need to think of the children," one parent exclaimed. "What about those who struggle every day?" countered another. Lily watched, her heart tightening. She decided that she would bridge the divide with a bake sale at school, where she'd sell cookies and cupcakes to raise money not just for herself, but for Mr. Jenkins too. The mix of snickers and nods from the affluent families stung, yet her classmates rallied around her, eager to help. "Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue." Then, just when it seemed the divides between the haves and have-nots would tear the community apart, a heavy snowstorm swept through, blanketing everything in white silence. The air felt thick with tension as families huddled in their warm homes, but the frost creeping into their hearts was palpable. Lily knew Mr. Jenkins was running low on firewood, and the puppy had nowhere to go. Left outside in the frigid darkness with everyone indoors, they faced an undeniable truth: their differences had kept them apart. Just as they wrestled with their decisions, a solitary, urgent knock echoed through the bitter cold. It was a call, no, a plea for them to remember the true spirit of community. Would they unite to overcome their disparities, or would fear whisper louder than compassion? In that moment, as the snow continued to fall, the heart of the neighborhood hung delicately in the balance, waiting for a spark of hope to ignite. As the winter wind howled outside, the knock on the door startled everyone inside the cozy homes. It was a sound that cut through the stillness, compelling parents and children alike to pause, their hearts lifted by curiosity. Who could be out there? Lily's thoughts raced. She imagined it could be anyone, but her mind instinctively went to Mr. Jenkins. With the firewood running low and the snow piling high, he must be so cold. She couldn't let him suffer alone. Gathering her courage, she dashed back to her house and grabbed her winter coat. At the same time, across the street, the affluent families were having their own moment of reckoning. As the snow piled up, the parents looked at their children, their laughter muted by the reality outside. They realized it was not just snow that separated them, it was indifference. The children had been caught up in their games but now looked at their parents with expectant eyes, wondering what to do next. When another sharp knock echoed through the rich home of the Thompsons, it roused them from their chatter. Mrs. Thompson opened the door to reveal a group of kids from the neighborhood, bundled up in their winter gear. Their eyes sparkled with determination. "We want to help," said one boy, his voice strained against the cold air. "Mr. Jenkins needs firewood and food, and so do other families." The sincerity in his tone made Mrs. Thompson's heart twinge. She was used to looking out for her own, but this sight called something deeper within her. Meanwhile, Lily made her way through the knee-deep snow, her heart beating faster with every step. The lonely streets felt heavy, yet she could almost feel the warmth of community drawing closer. When she reached Mr. Jenkins' front porch, she raised her fist to knock, but hesitated. What if he was just too lonely to open the door? Before she could second-guess her decision, the door creaked open. Mr. Jenkins stood there, eyes wide, surprised to see her. The old man's frail frame was wrapped in an oversized blanket, his cheeks flushed from the chilly air. "Lily, what brings you here in this weather?" he asked, a soft smile breaking through his worry. "I was worried about you, Mr. Jenkins. I brought over some firewood," she said, her voice filled with sincerity. It stung a bit when she remembered it hadn't been easy for her mother to afford that firewood, but Mr. Jenkins deserved warmth too. Just then, a rustle behind her captured their attention. The neighborhood kids, led by the brave boy from the Thompsons, plowed through the snow, arms laden with firewood and bags of groceries. "We heard you needed help," he called out, his breath visibly puffing into the icy air. Mr. Jenkins' eyes glistened with appreciation. The warmth of their kindness melted some of his burdens away. As laughter echoed and shared efforts began filling the air, a tentative truce formed between the different worlds of the neighborhood. The parents who had debated and worried gathered around, drawn by the sight of their children bridging the gap. They were reminded of their own childhood, of sharing joy and waits together. However, as the evening wore on, a sudden realization struck Lily like a bolt of lightning. "What about the puppy?" she said, her voice rising above the cheer. "He'll freeze outside." Their laughter faded momentarily, replaced by a shocked silence. One of the parents, whose heart had been stirred through witnessing the scene unfold, finally spoke up. "Maybe we can help with that too. Would the community rally together to give Lily's puppy a warm home? Or would this moment of goodness drift back into old ways?" As snowflakes danced around them under the streetlight glow, they all held their breath, waiting to see how this story would unfold. The seconds stretched into what felt like hours as they all stood there, eyes darting between each other and the looming snowdrifts. It was a kind of electrifying silence, where everyone's thoughts intermingled and formed a thick tension in the air. The bravest little boy from the group, wearing a faded green hat, took a step forward. "Maybe we could build a doghouse together," he suggested, his voice a mixture of courage and innocence. "If we all pitch in, we can make sure he has a warm place to stay." Lily's heart soared at the idea. It seemed impossible to think that a group of children, along with a few hesitant adults, could come together and craft something so meaningful. But there was a spark in the boy's eyes that ignited hope in her heart. Mr. Jenkins, who had been listening quietly, leaned slightly forward, his voice barely above a whisper. "I have just enough wood for one, maybe more." His fingers grazed the edge of the blanket around him, as if the warmth of those memories could pull him from the cold. Mrs. Thompson, still feeling the weight of their previous indifference, stepped forward. "I can bring over tools from the garage," she announced, her voice steady and strong. She caught eyes with the other parents, willing them silently to see the light of this moment too. Then a ripple of agreement filled the group. One parent dropped their shoulders as they took a deep breath and joined in. "And we can provide the nails and a blanket for inside it. Everyone can chip in." Excited murmurs bubbled around them, and the snow-covered street lit up with energy. Children began shuffling back and forth, forming a small brigade. Lily felt a rush of warmth as hope swelled within her. This was not just about a puppy anymore, it was about connecting, healing, and finding their humanity in shared purpose. As they gathered supplies, families started to come together in unexpected ways. Parents mixed with families they hardly spoke to at neighborhood gatherings. Laughter replaced silence as they recalled fond memories of their own childhood experiences building forts in the snow. "Remember back when we made that tree house?" someone called out, and the echoes of childhood joy rekindled the relationships that had slowly faded over time. Each recollection built bridges, laughter intertwining with love, drawing them all closer together. And as dusk began to blanket the world in soft blue, Lily looked back at Mr. Jenkins, his frail figure illuminated by the warm glow coming from his now lively porch. His smile mirrored her own as he caught a glimpse of the promise coming to life. Each hammer struck against nails bore not only physical weight but emotional significance. They were literally building something as a community, brick by sentimental brick. But just when they were at the brink of completing the doghouse, A loud crack echoed through the neighborhood, followed by a plume of freshly fallen snow tumbling down from a tree. All of them looked skyward, startled. What was that? A child gasped, glancing nervously around. And in that moment of pause while the group held their breath, something shifted. Would the kindness they had begun to cultivate hold strong against whatever uncertainty was to come? Lily looked at her assembled neighbors, feeling the connections they had reignited, and thought about the little puppy waiting in the cold. What would they do if more challenges awaited them just beyond the horizon? This was only the beginning. Lily's heart raced as she eyed the tree, the sudden crack splitting the air like a gunshot. Every breath turned heavy with anticipation, each member of the group instinctively inching closer together, creating an unspoken circle of shared bravery. Children peered upward, their faces a blend of awe and fear, while the adults exchanged furtive glances, each silently weighing the unknown. The little boy in the green hat steadied himself, defying the tension with hopeful determination. "It could just be the wind," he said, his voice matter-of-fact, as if believing it would ward off the shadows creeping in around them, but the fear lingered. Would the same hands that came together to build something beautiful falter at the first sign of doubt? As the vibrant energy of their earlier laughter faded, a cloud of uncertainty hovered above them. Lily turned back to the half-constructed doghouse, seeing the twinkling lights that had been strung outside Mr. Jenkins' porch. They flickered independently, mirroring the hope budding in her soul. This was more than just a doghouse. It symbolized something grander. It was a glimmer of resilience, a beacon of their reborn camaraderie. Mrs. Thompson, ever braver than she first appeared, caught Lily's gaze. "We're so close," she said, her voice strong but gentle. "Let us finish this together. Whatever that sound was, it doesn't need to drown our spirit." Reinvigorated, they all turned back to their work. Noses twitched in the cold, fingers moved with renewed purpose. The hammer hit nail, wood groaned in submission, and the sturdy structure began to take form. Laughter and shouts mingled with the clattering of tools as they rallied against the chill and uncertainty. "You know what we should name him?" The boy in the green hat called out, wiping his brow despite the freezing temperatures. "How about Braveheart? Because he's waiting for us like a hero." The spark of joy ignited again, bubbling through the group like a wave, banishing their worries if only for a moment. "Braveheart it is!" Lily exclaimed, her voice buoying the atmosphere more than ever. They cheered together, a symphony of agreement that cut through the sudden darkness settling in around them. Yet, it was in this moment of unity that another sound broke through the crunch of footsteps against snow. A new family was approaching, their figures emerging from the curtain of twilight. Curious faces were lit by porch lights, their expressions painted with surprises and shared awe. "Look at that," a parent whispered to another as they saw the small gathering. "Those kids are building something lovely." The newcomers hesitated, and for an instant it felt like they stood at a precipice. Would they join in? Would they too want to contribute to this newfound warmth? Lily forced herself to breathe, her heart drumming in her chest. "Hey, would you like to help us build a doghouse?" she called out, her voice carrying through the chilly air, shaking with the possible rejection yet resonating with hope. All eyes turned to the strangers. Would they take a step forward? Or would this budding community falter once again at the edge of fear and doubt? In that suspended moment, everything rested on the cusp of decision. The air was thick with anticipation. Lily held her breath, the world narrowing to the new family standing just beyond the glow of the porch lights. She could almost see the cogs turning in their minds, a mix of curiosity and hesitation plastered across their faces. Will they come? The thought nagged at her, like a soft whisper trying to drown out a growing storm. With each passing second, the weight of that question tipped the scales of her hope. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, the mother, a woman with soft curls and a welcoming smile, stepped forward. "We'd love to help," she called back, her voice warm and inviting, cutting through the chill that wrapped around them. A rush of relief spread through Lily, lighting up her spirit. The little boy in the green hat grinned, as if it were the sun breaking through the clouds. He waved his arms, beckoning the newcomers closer. "Come meet Braveheart." As the family approached, a little girl trailed behind, her eyes wide with wonder. "Can we really help build a doghouse?" she asked, looking from Lily to the others, her voice trembling slightly with excitement. "Absolutely. Lily replied, her chest swelling with pride. We're almost finished. Just a few more nails and some decorations. The atmosphere shifted instantly, electric with possibility. The newcomers joined the circular team, their hands shaking off the frost of uncertainty. The relentless labor resumed, now with laughter ricocheting off the cold, turning it into a symphony that reflected not just the building of bricks and wood but the stitching of new friendships. With every nail driven in, the doghouse came to life, but it was the stories shared and the laughter exchanged that breathed warmth into the chilly day. The little girl in the green hat narrated silly stories about heroes, her gleeful energy infectious. The adults caught each other's eyes, sharing smiles that unfurled like petals in spring. When they took a moment to step back, surveying their work, Lily exhaled sharply. The doghouse wasn't just any house, it was an emblem of unity, a triumph over fear. Every scratch in the wood told a story of overcoming doubt. Every swing of the hammer resonated with determination. Braveheart looks so happy, the boy declared, pointing to the makeshift house. The group erupted into glee, ignited by that spark of joy once more. Yet, underneath it all, a deeper realization began to root in Lily's heart. Perhaps this new community wasn't about simply building something, was it about creating connections? About standing together in a world that often felt isolating? As if triggered by the question echoing in her mind, the wind suddenly shifted. It swept through the air with greater intensity, more than just a passing breeze. It rustled the leaves, a reminder of the unseen forces that often shape our lives in ways we can't quite fathom. "This is amazing," said the mother of the new family, her eyes shining with pride. "We should do this more often." Lily nodded, watching the sunset paint the sky in shades of orange and pink. "We will," she promised, the resolve in her voice clear. Suddenly another crack echoed through the twilight, louder this time. Everyone fell silent, the warmth of their earlier laughter snuffed out momentarily as they turned towards the source. What could possibly break through this moment of joy? In the distance, shadows moved among the trees. And with them the question hung heavy between them. Were they truly safe? As the darkness loomed closer, their worries began to creep back in. Would this fragile connection withstand the trials that lay ahead? The shadows closed in, thick with unspoken fears. Lily's heart raced. The carefree joy from just moments ago felt like a distant memory. She instinctively took a step closer to the group, brushing against the little girl in the green hat, whose wide eyes darted back and forth, searching the darkening woods. "Look closer," whispered the mother, her voice barely above a murmur. The tension between them felt almost tangible, a thin wire stretched tight. Every creak of wood, every whisper of wind heightened Lily's senses. She took a deep breath, forcing herself to push the anxious thoughts aside. "Maybe it's nothing," she murmured, more to herself than anyone else. "Just animals or the wind." Yet deep down she felt a stirring, a sense of dread growing stronger. The darkness didn't just feel heavy. It felt alive. "Do you think we should check it out?" the little boy in the green hat asked, his voice trembling, mingling with the crunching leaves beneath their feet. Lily hesitated. This moment had been about building bonds and fending off isolation, not inviting danger. "Why don't we wait here for a moment?" she offered, hoping to soothe the uncertainty swarming around them. Just then, a figure emerged from the gloom, stumbling into the light cast by the porch. It was a nearby neighbor, old Mr. Thompson, his beard all wild and white like freshly fallen snow. A familiar spark filled his eyes, but his brow furrowed with concern. "Lily, I'm glad I found you out here. I saw some suspicious folks loitering near the perimeter of your property. I thought you might want to know." A wave of relief crashed over Lily, countered swiftly by another wave of worry. "Is it dangerous?" she asked. Mr. Thompson shook his head, though his expression remained serious. "Hard to say. Just a couple of kids causing mischief, I suppose. But it's smart to be cautious." His voice soothed the rising panic, but moments later, Lily could see the doubt flickering across the faces of the new family. "What if they come here?" the little girl whispered, gripping her brother's arm tightly. Lily glanced around at her new friends. The warmth they sparked today was now superseded by the uncertainty surrounding them. But within that uncertainty lay the seeds of resilience. "We're stronger together," she said, her voice steadier now, filled with conviction. "Let us stand united. We can keep each other safe." As she spoke, the energy rippled through the group. The little boy nodded, emboldened, while the mother stepped a little closer to Lily, offering silent support. Despite the apprehension, they gathered together, forming a tighter circle, hearts beating as one. The heaviness of the situation pushed away the earlier warmth, but the glow of hope lingered. They turned their attention back to the woodland, waiting, watching, and in the quiet, the weight of their connection shone brighter than any dark shadow. But just as peace began to settle, a loud crash echoed from the trees, a heavy thud that rang through the air, forcing them all to jump. Eyes widened and breaths hitched. Lily's heart raced again. What was that? The little boy squeaked. Lily felt a knot forming in her stomach. The afternoon's laughter seemed far, far away now. We should see. Before she could finish, the distinct sound of laughter pierced through the tension, echoing from the woods, a sound that was all too familiar. But who could it be? As the laughter grew nearer, was this a sign of trouble, or a lifeline in the darkness? In that heartbeat of uncertainty, the night began to unravel further. The laughter danced closer, a blend of childish giggles and familiar voices. It was a sound that tugged at something deep within Lily, pulling her thoughts away from fear and doubt. She narrowed her eyes, straining to see through the darkness, and then she recognized them, her friends Sam and Mia, a couple of local kids known for their reckless adventures. Suddenly, Sam burst through the dense brush. His face was flushed with excitement, and Mia was quick behind him, her hair bouncing wildly. "Lily, you won't believe what we found," Sam shouted, his exuberance cutting through the tension like a warm knife through butter. "Are you guys okay?" Lily rushed forward, a mix of relief and annoyance flooding her. "What are you doing out here? We thought we heard you screaming," Mia said, glancing back toward the woods. "We just came to check it out." Before Lily could respond, another sound echoed, a rustle followed by a deep, low growl that sent ice water coursing through her veins. The laughter faded, and the air became thick with anticipation. Mr. Thompson's earlier warnings suddenly felt very real. "What was that?" whispered the little boy in the green hat, an edge of fear creeping back into his voice. Lily held her breath. "It's probably just a deer," she started, but the growl came again, this time clearer, more menacing. "Guys, we should go back." Mia's bright spirit dimmed, and her eyes widened as she took a step closer to her brother. Without thinking, Lily took the lead, her instincts kicking in. "Everyone stay close. We can't panic. Let us move carefully." She regretted the firmness in her voice but knew it was necessary. They needed to stay composed. As they edged backward, the laughter rang again from the darkness, this time chillingly close. Sam's eyes sparkled with mischief, the fear igniting another wave of reckless bravery. "Come on. Let us see what it is." "Are you out of your mind?" Lily said, incredulous. The last thing they needed was to provoke whatever was lurking in the shadows. "We have to stick together." But Sam was already tipping toward the thick brush, curiosity winning over caution. His bravery was admirable but reckless. "Please let us not," Lily pleaded, anxiety thrumming through her veins. "It's not safe." With hearts pounding in unison, the little boy in the green hat stepped forward, trying to find courage in the wavering light of friendship. "What if it's just a dog?" he asked with hopeful innocence. They turned to Lily, eyes shimmering with a mixture of trust and doubt. In that moment, her heart swelled unexpectedly. If it's a dog, maybe it needs help? The idea hung in the air, a delicate thread weaving through their shared anxiety. It tugged at something within Lily. What if their next adventure was to save a scared animal? Just as she made her decision to follow Sam into the dark, a piercing howl echoed around them, sending shivers down their spines. She gathered the group in front of her with newfound resolve. "Okay, we'll check it out together. But no one goes off alone." They nodded, fear mingling with the thrill of the unknown. As they moved forward into the trees, each crack underfoot seemed to resonate in the stillness. They peered into the dark, the laughter of Sam and Mia blending with nervous breaths. What would they find lurking in the shadows? Would it be a frightened dog, a lost child, or something else entirely? The path ahead felt unpredictable, like the tension in the air, thick and alive. Little did they know this night would change everything. But as they stepped deeper into the shadows, something shifted in the woods, an unseen presence watching from the dark. What awaited them was not just an answer to their fears, but an unexpected turn that would test their newfound bonds and challenge everything they thought they knew. They pressed forward, shadows swallowing their laughter and transforming it into silence. The air was cold, but the warmth of camaraderie sparked a flicker of bravery in their hearts. Lily led the way, her eyes scanning the darkness, adrenaline heightening her senses. Each sound became more pronounced: a snap of twigs, the rustle of small creatures, even the whisper of the wind sounded like a warning. Over there. Sam pointed, and for a moment the group froze, holding their breath. There, just beyond the reach of the feeble moonlight, something stirred. A pair of eyes glinted back at them, bright and unblinking. "Is it a deer?" Mia whispered, her voice trembling. But Lily shook her head, a knot forming in her stomach. "I don't think so." The creature stepped into a patch of light. It was a dog, small, scruffy, with patches of matted fur and a banged-up collar. Relief surged through Lily, followed by compassion. The dog looked lost and frightened, but something about its stance hinted at enormous heart. "Guys, look. It's just a dog," Lily exclaimed, her fear giving way to empathy. As the dog whined, she noticed the glimmer of tears in the little boy's eyes. His fear transformed into a desire to help. "We can't just leave it here." "Are you sure it's safe?" Mia asked, shifting nervously. With a deep breath, Lily crouched down, slowly extending her hand. "Come here, pup," she coaxed softly. "It's okay." The dog sniffed the air but hesitated. Uncertainty etched across its furry face. Tension hung heavily, still born from the growl earlier. But Lily pressed on as she felt an undeniable pull towards the creature. "Let us give it some space. Just like us, it's probably scared too." The little boy in the green hat stepped beside her, a soft smile breaking through his earlier fear. "What if we call it lucky? 'Cause if we're here, it's lucky we found each other." A wave of hope washed over Lily, igniting courage in her chest. "Lucky it is, then. Let us be brave together." Slowly, as if picking up on their encouragement, the dog ventured closer. It sniffed Lily's outstretched hand, then licked it in a hesitant greeting. Gasps of joy erupted from the group, turning tension into laughter. "I can't believe it. Lucky's so friendly." Sam grinned, and the group shared that infectious excitement, the joy of connection. But just as they began to relax, a rustle in the bushes drew their attention. Lily's heart raced again as her mind flared with warnings. They weren't alone. A figure emerged, a woman, drenched in the shadows of the trees. Her features were obscured, but the hints of worry creased her brow as she took one look at the group and Lucky. "Plea, I've been searching for him everywhere." Her voice was shaky, an ocean of emotions rising within. Lily exchanged worried glances with her friends, their evening taking a sudden turn. Who was this woman? What had happened between her and Lucky? "Is this your dog?" Lily asked, heart pounding. She could feel the uncertainty rippling through the group, the fragile bond of friendship tangling with the weight of responsibility. "Yes." The woman stepped forward, desperation gleaming in her eyes. "I thought I lost him for good. Can you help me?" With the echoes of Lucky's past deepening the mystery, Lily found herself standing at a crossroads between friendship and compassion. Could they trust this stranger? And if so, what would it mean for their newfound friend? With an unexpected twist ahead, the night was far from over. Who knew what revelations awaited as they unraveled the story behind Lucky? Lily's heart raced as the woman's words settled heavy in the air. She glanced at her friends, a silent conversation passing between them. It felt like a weight was pressing down, all the earlier excitement dwindling in the face of this new reality. Sam shifted nervously, the joy of finding Lucky evaporating. "What happened? Why did you lose him?" The woman's breath hitched, and she knelt down to Lucky, who wagged his tail tentatively. "I was at the dog park," she said, her voice trembling. "He was playing with some other dogs when a storm hit. We got separated in the chaos." Tears filled her eyes, glimmering like the knowledge of lost moments. "I searched for hours. I thought he was gone for good." Lily felt a wave of compassion wash over her. "You love him a lot, don't you? He must have been so scared." "Yes." The woman's voice cracked. "Yes, all I have. I adopted him when I was feeling so alone. And he's been my friend ever since." Once again the grip of fear twisted in Lily's stomach. Lucky was a symbol of hope to them. Yet this woman painted a portrait of despair, clinging to what mattered most. "What's your name?" Lily asked gently. Sarah, the woman replied, wiping a tear from her cheek. Lucky is special, Mia chimed in, stepping forward and kneeling beside the dog, who was now sniffing Sarah's fingers. We named him that because we're all lucky to have found him together. Sarah smiled faintly, the light flickering back to her eyes. Thank you for that, it means a lot. Lily could sense the conflict brewing in her friends. Sam looked at her, his brow furrowed. But what if we give him back and he gets lost again? Or what if she treats him badly? Mia added, concern knitting her brow. Lucky, seemingly sensing the tension, drew closer to Lily. She could feel his warmth, his little heart beating steadily. Let us not assume the worst, Lily said, the words spilling out before she could think them through. What if this is a chance for Lucky to go home? Home could be safe for him just like we are safe together. Yes, the little boy in the green hat chimed. If she loves him, then he'll be all right. His face was earnest and hopeful, a pool of innocence that challenged the growing doubt. Lily glanced back at Sarah. We want to help, but we also need to know that he'll be safe with you. I promise, Sarah said, her voice steadying. I'll do everything I can to make sure he is happy. He deserves that. I can't lose him again. A silence enveloped the group, filled only by the rustle of leaves and the distant hoot of an owl. The moment was heavy, filled with unspoken fears and hopes. It was as if the night itself held its breath, letting them choose a path. Lily nodded slowly, feeling that familiar flicker of courage rekindling. Okay, let us take him home. But we're coming with you. We want to see Lucky safe. Sarah's eyes widened momentarily, then softened with gratitude. Really? Thank you so much. I can't tell you how much this means to me. As they all stood, the uncertainty of their decision hung in the air. Together they began making their way through the trees toward the path, Lucky leading the way with a newfound bounce, but just before they reached the edge of the woods, a distant sound echoed, a growl, deeper and more menacing than anyone had heard that night. Lily froze, the chilling realization striking fear into her heart once more. What was that? In an instant, the safe haven they had created felt fragile, as though the bond they forged could be torn apart in an instant. Who or what was lurking in the shadows, waiting for them to step too close? The darkness seemed to thicken around them, and Lily couldn't shake the feeling that they were stepping into something far bigger than themselves. As they moved forward, all promised paths intertwined with uncertainty, bringing them closer to an unseen danger waiting in the dark. As they stepped from the shadows of the trees, fear clung to them like a second skin. The growl echoed again, fierce and rumbling through the stillness, freezing Lily in her tracks. The group exchanged fearful glances, every heartbeat thundering in their ears. Lily gripped Lucky's collar tighter, glancing around at her friends. We need to stay together. The calm in her voice masked the flutter of fear within her. Just then, something darted across their path, a flash of fur and a low growl. The kids instinctively huddled closer, their hearts racing. A larger dog, dark and lean, emerged, hackles raised, staring them down. Lily's instincts kicked in. Stay behind me, she urged, stepping protectively in front of Lucky. The other kids followed her lead, moving closer together. Maybe it's just scared, whispered Mia, her voice barely above a breath. The creature's eyes glinted in the moonlight, searching them, weighing their resolve. Lucky whimpered softly, feeling the tension of the moment. Then, something miraculous happened. Instead of lunging, the larger dog lowered its head and took a cautious step forward. The tension in the air shifted. The growl morphed into a gentle whine. Lily took a bold step forward, raising her voice, Hey there, buddy. It's okay. She knelt down, her hands reaching out slowly. To her relief, the larger dog hesitated, sniffing the air, curiosity overcoming its initial wariness. We're not here to hurt you, she said softly, her heart swelling with compassion. It took another step closer as Lily crouched there. She could feel her friends behind her gathering courage. It's okay. The little boy in the green hat chimed in. We just want to help. And somehow the big dog's demeanor changed. It approached with cautious determination, its growl replaced by a wagging tail. It sniffed Lucky, and for the first time, there was an empathy shared between the two canines. A wave of relief flooded through the group. They were no longer facing a threat. They were witnessing a moment where two lost souls found each other in the darkness. The larger dog barked playfully, its emotions spilling over into joy. "This must be his friend," Mia exclaimed with wide eyes. The fear that held everyone hostage melted away, replaced by laughter. The small group began to smile, surprised by this unexpected turn. With the mystery resolved, they gathered around, the two dogs weaving circles around their legs, tails wagging with excited barks. Sarah knelt down, wrapping her arms around Lucky, her eyes glistening with tears of relief. "You have friends now," she whispered to both pups, her heart swelling with gratitude. "This is what it means to be a community," Lily said, her spirit radiant. The bonds they had formed this night began to solidify further. Lily led the way back to their neighborhood, her newfound friends by her side and the two dogs trotting playfully ahead. This would be a tale they told for years, a story of bravery that forged a community. As the group approached the homes, the chilling air now buzzed with warmth. Porch lights illuminated the way ahead, suggesting that home was not just a building, but a feeling, a promise of friendship and love. They could already picture the nights of laughter and sharing stories over warm bowls of soup while Lucky and his newfound friend played happily around their feet. Once back, the kids insisted Sarah share a piece of her story, a story that reminded them all of resilience, of love that knits souls together, even through uncertainty and fear. Looking into her friend's eyes, Lily felt a profound shift deep inside. This was not just a transformative evening, it was a beginning. They laughed together, exchanging jokes and dreams, a tapestry of lives woven tighter than before. "I think Lucky is meant to be where he belongs most, right here with us," Lily said, joy radiating from her. As laughter echoed into the evening air, Lily felt a sense of purpose settle in. They had weathered fears and embraced uncertainty. Through it all, they found not just connections but something resembling a family, a community, formed in the heart of darkness with the flickering light of hope. "Let us do this more often," she declared, and her friends cheered in agreement. The night was a promise, the vow of new bonds and built bridges that together they would face whatever came their way. Love, kindness, and warmth would reign in their neighborhood as long as their hearts beat as one. And in that moment, against the vast starlit sky, Lily knew they had transformed more than just a night. They had transformed lives, one act of kindness at a time. Now more than ever, it was clear. The magic of community had only just begun. If you felt the inspiration from this incredible journey, you need to subscribe now to catch the next exclusive stories that can change your life. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and ensure others get to witness this transformation. Comment below with your thoughts, feelings, and reactions to the ending. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need a spark of hope and connection in their lives. Don't wait not even one more second to share. Show your support and carve a path for kindness to spread.